Yeah. So I'm gonna just play devil's advocate on this, and I'm gonna come in and say that I believe in eugenics, and I believe that abortion up to 9 months is perfectly acceptable, as we would want to wean out all the people who are irresponsible with their proclivities.
If you want to see more content like this, I would really appreciate you liking and subscribing. It really helps with the algorithm. And make sure to check out the Discord and other social links in the description. I would say that doesn't justify murdering a 9-month-old fetus or an 8-month-old fetus. That is a sentient being.
Why not?
What's the justification for doing it? You want to wean out the weak?
Yeah, the inferior. I'm a eugenicist.
Well, what counts as the inferior?
People who decide that their baby is not worth living, so they kill it. I would say that's pretty straightforward.
People who decide. So you could have a perfectly healthy baby, but it'd be classified as inferior just because a woman decides that it's not worth having the baby, or.
Well, yeah, because obviously they're making bad choices in their life. So, in order to get rid of people who make bad choices in their life, just let it play out.
Well, I don't know if they're. What do you mean making bad choices?
Getting rid of their child.
Well, I don't.
That's
why would you punish a child for that, though? Like you're killing the child on the justification that their parents made bad decisions.
Because generally I don't care, and I just want to weed that out of society.
I fail to see how that would have net benefits for society. It seems like you're killing the child, which isn't necessarily also going to make bad decisions. So that's a moral wrong in and of itself. And then
why is it a moral wrong?
Because it's a sentient being being morally harmed by. I mean, presumably, depending on the stage, there's going to be some level of suffering when you actually do the abortion, and then you're preventing the future sentience of it continuing to exist, right? So.
Yeah, but in the long term, we would actually be preventing it because the people who decide to abort their baby is going to wean themselves out of the gene pool, whereas the people who actually keep their babies will be promoted into the gene pool. So in the long run, we would just have people who are responsible and actually, don't commit as much harm.
I'm not convinced we would be better off in the long run. I mean, I think a lot of those children would some of those children certainly would make better decisions than those parents. I don't know, maybe not necessarily the majority. I would imagine there'd be some negative effects on a population. I think generally a growing population probably benefits society.
We would still try to incentivize that on things like tax cuts in order to get people to pop out more babies. But as far as I'm concerned, the ones who decide to just abort their babies, we could just wean them out of the gene pool.
I mean, I'm not convinced. One, I don't think those policies generally have a very good track record of actually increasing birth rates. And I guess I'm not okay. So the argument for society being better off in the long run is that we're removing people who presumably would make bad decisions from the gene pool.
Yeah. And this
how
is
bad
also
are they?
why
When you say bad decisions, these are people who choose to kill their baby or whatever, right? I still think a lot of those people
that would be a bad decision. I would agree with that.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I still think a lot of those people probably are a net benefit to society. They work, they pay taxes, even if they are low income people, which I'm sure people who get abortions probably disproportionately are low income people. Then a lot of them are still probably net benefits.
There's a net benefit to have a person around that's willing to kill their baby.
A net to the rest of society? It can be, yeah.
That's hard to believe. You're going to have to convince me of that.
They can work and contribute to society. They can pay taxes. They could be, I mean, clearly we could imagine an example where someone is, but clearly that doesn't, I don't think that precludes them being a net benefit necessarily. We could imagine a doctor who works to save lives all day and he kills one baby. He's probably still a net benefit to society on the whole. He just also killed a baby.
Yeah, but he's, I'd assume in a situation of a doctor, he's not like trying to make the choice to kill a baby. It just so happens in the scenario,
Well, I mean, a
that
doctor,
was
like
the
a female
requirement that
doctor
you had
who
to
is
do.
pregnant and then kills her own baby with an abortion, like she saves lives as a doctor, but then when she gets pregnant, she kills her own baby. That'd be?
Yeah, and ultimately, she's going to wean herself out of the gene pool, and there'll be other doctors to replace her that don't have abortions.
Well, my only claim here is that she'd probably still be a net benefit, and because of that, I'm not convinced the society would be better off.
She's only a net benefit temporarily, but she's eventually going to be out of the gene pool, and we wouldn't have to worry about it because, she's obviously not having babies.
I mean, when I say net benefit, I mean over the entirety of her life, she provided net positive effects to society. I'm like,
Yeah, and I'm generally thinking a net benefit to society all the way into the future, and that's why I'm a eugenicist. It's almost like taking an accelerationist stance, and we just have to let these things happen and accelerate them in order to get to a better society quicker.
I guess I'm not convinced that the end result is a significantly better society, at least, even if it was marginally better. I don't think it would justify the immense short-term cost, but I'm not convinced at all that it should be a better society in the long run. Especially because, like, I'm like, just because someone chooses to have an abortion, I'm not convinced that like their children would be bad people either. Like, I think, like,
Well,
like,
I can see that you're not convinced, but why would I be wrong?
well, because these people are net benefits to society. It seems like there are a lot of people who might choose to have an abortion but still work and contribute to society their entire life, and their children probably don't deserve to be punished for that, or for their decision to have an abortion. And then yeah.
Yeah, but they're still providing the net benefit to society. But they're just going to wean themselves out based off their bad choices of killing their baby.
Well, I think their children would also probably be net benefits, and I think you're punishing the child for a mistake that they didn't make, which seems like a rights violation.
But wait, so babies in the womb have rights?
Some of them, sure, yeah.
What kind of rights? Can you give me some of them?
Right to not be murdered if they're sentient.
Well, okay, so sentience. How do you
Uh-huh.
determine sentience?
Primarily brain activity.
So it's just brain activity.
It's the primary, yeah, basically. Well, not just like any brain activity. It has to be a high level of brain activity. But yeah, brain activity, like for like.
But how do you determine that?
I think they use a EEG or something or whatever, and you look at the neurons, track what the neurons are doing, track how many electrical impulses are.
So if we could like quantify the amount of neurological impulses, what percentage would you say needs to be available in order to consider a fetus sentient?
I have no clue, but I know there's no sentient experience in a zygote. They only have one cell. There is no neuron going back and forth, so clearly somewhere between zygote and 9-month-old fetus, there has to be some line there. I would say basically, I don't think there's any possibility of it happening before. Like, I think 8 weeks is the earliest we could see like any brain activity. So like clearly before 8 weeks, I would say there's literally no possibility.
The thing is, personally, this all seems very like arbitrary, and we can't really like draw a line off of it. So this is where I kind of just say like, fuck it all, and let's just say something like up to the point of a person's memory. It's like people usually don't have memories until they're like getting near like 1 year old. So it's why not just stick it at like 9 months? They could abort the baby and just call it a day.
Well, I think sentience is kind of the clearest line that gives you the ability to be like morally wronged on like a on an individual level, at least. Like, I think that's probably like the clearest. Like, you're capable of suffering, you're capable of presumably continuing that sentient experience. Like, yeah.
But there's no way to prove it. There's really no way to prove it at this delineation, at this line of whatever brain activity a person is sentient.
Well, exactly. What do you mean by prove?
Well, you're trying to bring in the idea of brain scans in order to look at brain activity, but you can't even like justify a particular line of where that sentience would begin. Like, is it a
Well,
percentage?
I
Is
mean,
it a
I don't think I
sectors of
have
the
to have
brain?
an exact line. I don't think it's an issue from my position if I don't have an exact line, at least at a moral level. No, maybe legally we should draw a specific line, but I think morally, the exact, I don't know when a bunch of grains of sand become a heap, but I don't think that's an issue from my position. I don't think I have to solve that paradox to have this position.
Wait, can I just have a brief interlude?
Sure.
By the way, my mic is less gainful right now, hopefully.
A little
A
less.
little, yeah.
Yeah, I can. Let me try to. Give me a second.
This guy.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just saying. Look, I thought it was safe, but there was another truth nuke that was just dropped. Okay, just check your DMs. That's all. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Okay. Another truth nuke. That's it. That's it. But TickyTack,
Oh, no,
I might
I
talk
saw
to you
that. I
another
watched
day.
this. It was really funny, yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, just the key. Yeah, but what's your position before?
Well, I'm playing devil's advocate.
He's just doing.
I'm a
I don't think he unironically holds this. Yeah, we're having a fun.
Yeah. So, the devil's advocate is I believe in eugenics, and I believe that abortion will eventually wean out the people who make bad decisions about getting.
Oh, I'm talking about
abortions.
utilitarianism. Like on utilitarianism, what's your normative position?
Well, I'm not a utilitarian. My normal position is that I'm pro-life. It's life begins at conception.
Well, I mean,
and
like-
we
Yeah,
should
but that's
allow
applied
abortion.
ethics. That's applied ethics. Applied ethics is like your position on specific issues, like veganism, abortion, whatever. But normative ethics is like your system of ethics. What's
Um,
it like? Is it utilitarianism? Is it like the ontology? Is it virtue ethics?
it's loosely based off Christianity.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. Okay. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in 3 minutes, by the way, at 2. But
Oh, it's all good. So pretty much the reason why I bring up this devil's advocate point is because of Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood. She was a eugenicist, and she's the one who was advocating for things like abortion, allowing gay marriages and gay people to be around, because in general she thought these were genetics that would wean out from the gene pool if we just allowed people to do it.
yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard people talk about that before. I don't know why I didn't see the connection earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I play devil's advocate. But if you ever want to get into like utilitarian debates, morality, abortions, I can play any sort of side that you want, and I think it can really help with your argumentation.
Yeah, I feel like, I'll definitely go on a philosophy arc at some point, I'm sure. Especially if I continue. I don't know, apparently people on some of the panels keep mentioning abortion.
Well, keep in mind the panels that you're going on, the people that are staying quiet has heard all of your arguments before, and they already know how to argue them.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So don't think all of them are stupid. There are definitely stupid ones there, and you could have a field day with them. But some of the quiet ones, just look out for them.
Yeah, that makes sense, yep.
All right, well, I'll let you be. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Oh, no, don't worry, anytime, yeah. Listen, after a $50 donation, anytime. Hell yeah, brother.
All right, later.
Thanks. If you want to chat with me live, sub here or go to Nonfon420 on Twitch or Kick via the links below. Once again, please like and sub to help with the algorithm, and consider sending a donation through YouTube Super Thanks to directly support me, and I'll make sure to reply to any question you ask. See you guys next time.